We're celebrating Spirit Day with Project Runway Juniors' Matt Sarafa. Gay Weekly Roundtable starts now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
So beautiful, guys. I was just commenting, a blessing to be gay and be able to have dance music every time. Hello.
Yes.
Welcome to Gay Weekly Roundtable. Hey. The show where we're breaking down all the news and pop culture from the past week relating to the LGBT community. We are your hosts. I'm Adam Salandra. You can find me at Adam Salandra everywhere.
And I am your host, Tony Moore, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com.
I'm Yael Tygiel. You can find me everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I'm live in the chat, so if you want to talk to us, I'm there. Yeah.
Cool.
And I am Blake McIver. You can find me across the social medias at Blake McIver.
At the social medias.
Yeah. So we're super excited for our guest today. You saw him on Project Runway Juniors. He's a designer and he's fabulous. Matt Sarafa.
Yay.
Yay! Welcome, Matt.
I'm very gay, so I'm very qualified to be here.
Yes,
I think.
Absolutely.
That is the one screening question.
The one qualification that you need is gay.
So I appreciate that.
Very important.
Speaking of gay and young, it is Spirit Day.
It's Spirit
Yay.
Day. I feel weird that we're all excited for Spirit Day.
Well, it's
Well,
because
it's
we're
important.
celebrating
Yeah, but it's the
as
day,
we can.
Yeah, it's a day where we take a stand against bullying. It started in 2010, which is very exciting that this thing has happened every year. And you can go to glad.org/Spirit Day, that's GLAAD.org, and join the Spirit Day Challenge. Get your friends and company fully engaged and really help stop bullying and get the message out to the LGBTQ PITMRSO youth.
Wait, I'm sorry. I might have zoned out for 1 second. What do you do in the challenge?
You can take the challenge and add photos or donate or you can show your spirit. It was inspired by the purple of the flag.
That's beautiful.
Which stands for spirit. I didn't know that.
All the colors have different words?
I didn't know that.
In the
Me neither.
rainbow?
Apparently.
I guess
Apparently,
we'll
I
be
am-
covering that next week.
I am not informed.
Blake, I would like your gay card now, please. Thank you.
Did you know?
Did you?
He did not. He just wants to take that card.
Yeah,
It's not about me
That's-
at this moment. It's about Blake.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Thrown
but there-
directly under the spirit bus.
There are a lot of ways that you could participate. You can take the pledge to help others. You can wear purple. We are all wearing purple. And you
It's in
can
here.
change your...
It's
I see
adjacent.
it.
Yeah, it's in here.
And you can change your Twitter and Facebook and your images to be
Sure.
purple to support.
And it's for bullying and youth specifically, right?
Yeah, it's to take a stand against bullying and support of LGBT, all the letters, youth.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you just give up at some point? LGBT and
All
the rest of the letters?
All the
It's
letters.
exhausting. I always give up. I don't even know them all.
I add letters. I always say
Alphabet soup.
LGBTQRSTUV. I mean, just might as well just add them all
Elemental
in.
P.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of big celebs that are participating this year. I lost the list of celebs. Let's
Now
see.
we'll never
Wait.
know.
Nope, I found it. I don't know most of these, is what I'm realizing.
How dare you say that when Kristen Chenoweth's photo is right there?
Well, obviously, I know Kristen Chenoweth, Michael Ian
Oh, and
Black,
Dr. Drew,
Tom Allison from Killjoys.
Carmen Carrera,
Yeah, you know who these people are.
Gigi Gorgeous.
You want to keep listing people you know? Jazz Jennings. More people.
there you go.
Shandy Moore from the cast of.
So a lot of trans representation.
I mean, Brittany, Will Wheaton. Those are names I've heard of.
Brittany.
Sam Watterson.
As in
That's so
Spears.
great.
Lena Waithe. She's a
Brittany
writer.
needs a last
No,
name.
I appreciate that, but I don't know. I was worried.
The Britney Spears.
The.
The cast of Winona Earp, which is great.
Yes. So there's some people you know.
Yeah, there are some people I know, but then there are a ton more that I don't. You can check it out. As I said, glad.org/Spirit Day.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have a question for Matt. Since you're here, we were talking last week about schools from when we were in school. Yale was the only one.
for some of us.
Honestly, it's
My
been a long
goodness,
time.
cue Adele's when we were young.
Yes.
It's like-
I am getting very emotional, but Yale had a, what was it called? I'm
It's
sorry. I
a
don't even
Gay
know.
Straight Alliance.
We did not. But is that, I mean, you only went to
Is that
one
still a
school, but
thing?
like, do you not that you know what it was like for us, but is there more talk of it, more acceptance in school, do you feel?
I feel like definitely, yeah. It's like it's a big topic now, and at least the high school that I went to, they were very inclusive about like all of the gays, and there's like a gay straight alliance. There's just like there was a lot of resources on campus.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Because you seem like someone that you're not going to hide who you are, which is amazing.
Well, it's impossible. I can't. I mean, look at me. I can't hide it at all.
You're like, well, I woke up today and here we are.
I'm
Well,
gonna
great.
sound old, but
No,
you know,
well.
compared to our generation and now Matt's generation, I love the growth and how more accepting it is to be who you are and to be gay. I mean, I was always gay and fabulous in school, and I clearly marched to the beat of my own drum. But back then, it was still like one of those things you kind of kept to yourself, and you know, only found that one friend that you can confide in. And now everyone is just bursting through the doors like, hello world, here I am.
Yeah, well, that's the idea that I get, and that's why. But you are from California. I feel like here I'm like, oh, we're all loved, and then I often, luckily for me, forget that it's not the case all over the country. So
This is true.
And even pockets of Los Angeles.
yeah, didn't.
I went to the
Yeah, can we
one
talk about this,
Baptist
please?
high school in Los Angeles City.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your dentist thing last
Oh
week.
no, that was funny too, but that's another
Yeah,
story
we'll
for a
save
different
that.
time.
But I
yeah,
forgot
no.
you went to high school here, so but you still don't have that
Yeah,
experience.
in a very conservative community within a not conservative city. So
Yeah.
it still exists. Very much still exists.
sad. And you, you lived it up.
I did. I went to.
That Bay Area life.
I was crazy, and
You're like secretly straight, and you're like, I better say I'm bisexual because I'm going to be bullied here at this school if I'm not.
Yeah, no, the straight people were. Oh, we beat
the
them.
minority.
No, I went to a crazy high school where I think had Spirit Day been a thing at the time, we would have, taken advantage. I told you what we did for coming out day. We put a microphone on the quad, and anyone who wanted to could come up and come out as whatever they wanted. And a lot of the straight kids came out as straight. And then we also made name tags that said, I am a blank sexual, and you could put whatever you wanted. And we had stickers that said, I like girls, I like boys,
Now,
and I like both.
That didn't, to me, that immediately is like, oh, well, kids are going to, I don't know how you would do it in the wrong way, but like sort of desecrate that situation and be like, I like it to make fun, but obviously not.
Like if I stepped up to
not
the
in
mic
Palo
and
Alto.
said, I'm coming out as Colonel Sanders because I love KFC so much.
Yeah, like making fun, but you supported that too.
Sexual.
We
And that's what it is.
We wanted
Chicken
people
sexual.
to feel like,
Fried
if they were not comfortable being honest, they could be comfortable being a jokester, and as long as they respected everyone, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that my high school
it's
experience was
great.
very weird.
Like I look at you
No,
like
it's awesome.
mesmerized.
It's very
like,
open.
whoa.
Yes.
Very open
And accepting.
and accepting. Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grand.
But I wanted to ask, since it is Spirit Day and it
Yeah.
is about bullying, and I'm assuming we have all felt some bullying in our lives.
Sure.
Are there any stories we would like to share?
Let's just go down the line.
Yeah, but the first one, mine doesn't have anything to do with being gay, but I can turn it into that. Because I was gay, all the little girls in elementary school loved me. I mean, I didn't know I was gay yet, but obviously we were getting along very well. So a lot of the boys, and this was 4th grade, were like really mad about that. So this was a Catholic school at a roller rink one night. Someone like came over, and one of the girls was like crying because I wasn't skating with her or something, and so like he started a fight with me, and it became a fist fight, sort of. By fist fight I mean he like lightly punched me in the nose, and like my friends held me back. But this was all on roller skates, by the way.
Wow.
And I was like, I am
Dramatic.
not a fighter, to say the least. Like I'm sure I was. I don't know what happened after that. Probably blacked out, but honestly, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But it was a very confrontational moment.
Bullying.
I was scared to come out in high school and college because of the things I saw, so I didn't. So I avoided bullying in that way, and still got some.
Yeah.
Tony.
Oh, my turn. Well, I remember in middle school, there were a group of guys in my PE class. First of all, I hated PE because it came during.
yeah.
Well, I hated PE not because of the physical aspect, but because it was like the second class I had of the day, and I didn't want to like smell.
your hair up.
Well, I didn't want to smell because like my outfits were always so cute and well thought out and planned, and so like if I did PE, then like outfit down the drain. So, but I remember when we were in the locker room, and I don't know how this came up, but they were like picking on me as usual, you know, fag and this and gay boy and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, why do you guys consistently pick on me? And I remember the guy look at me and say, and he said, well, it's because of the way you walk and the way you talk and how you dress. And I looked back at him and I was like, you do pay a lot of attention to me, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Flip
course
that
you had a
dialogue.
comment.
Yes.
I love that.
Don't mess with me, boys.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but that was like my, I had been bullied. I wouldn't say bullied, but like I was picked on a lot, like up until sophomore year of high school. And then all of a sudden it just went away. And like all of a sudden I was just like cool and like popular.
Well, people understood.
Well, maybe they understood, or maybe they just liked all of this rainbows and unicorns
that's what I mean. Understood that,
popped
like
out of
they're
my
like,
mouth.
we're missing out if we're not friends with Tony Moore.
Listen, I was amazing. I hung out with everyone. As long as you were a good person, like I would hang out with you and I'd make you laugh and smile.
Were you out in high school?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I ran the spectrum of bullying in that I was bullied at some point, and I think at some point I was a bully and was
what a great
unaware.
perspective.
I was unaware that I was a bully.
In what way, though?
Well, I didn't realize it until someone was like, "You're bullying me," and I went, "I am what?"
What does that mean?
Yeah, I was. So and then I also got to a point where I was defending other people against bullies.
Yeah.
So like I've been on, I think, all the sides of the bullying, but the time that I remember being bullied, well, I didn't realize I was being bullied. I'm really oblivious to things, is what I'm learning. I was in 6th grade and we had just gotten to middle school, and I met these girls and we were looking for a place for lunch, and we chose a place. They said, this is our place. And the 8th grade girls came over and they were like, that's our place. And we went, oh, that sucks. 'Cause like, it's ours now. We found this place. We're sitting here.
Gives me so much anxiety.
Yeah. So like they started picking on us, and like they all sat on me at one point. Like they all just like sat on my lap and on top of
All
each
of
other.
them? Like
yeah, like
Uno
like
stack
7.
up?
Yeah, like 7 girls. And I was like, "What's your point?" And then later they called me a whale and they threw chicken at me. And this didn't faze me at all for some reason. I was like, haha, this is so silly.
You're like, I'm a bully too, sucker.
Yeah. And then, so my brother was in 8th grade, and he came home that day and was like, why are you making these girls angry? They hate you. And I was like, what did I do? And people were like, those girls bullied you. And I went, really? Because it was like poorly done.
I love you were like,
They should try
I'm a
harder.
bully? They were bullies? Like, you're just living every day of your life and no idea. And that's beautiful.
No, apparently I am oblivious to everything outside myself.
It's a beautiful way to live.
It's real
Rose-colored
self-centered.
glasses.
Real self-centered.
I love it.
Yeah.
Blake. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, let me pull out my Rolodex.
You're starting to give me anxiety too for being known.
Which one do you want to know? No, it was a really weird sort of culture that I was in, because I grew up very much in a show business sphere outside of my schooling, and then schooling was extremely conservative. So it was odd. It was definitely a problem. Our school, my junior high school, it was such a sort of hypocritical religious scenario that, you know, any slurs were not considered bad or wrong. You know, it was very much common vernacular to negatively say, it's so gay, it's so gay, it's so gay.
Right.
You know, it was also very 90s. But, you know, it was almost the teachers didn't hear that as a negative at all. And then, you know, things like the F word were not even a problem.
Right.
That was, I mean, you could say that,
Don't
you
even
could
blink.
scream that at somebody across the classroom, and that was completely acceptable.
Which is, I love it's a religious school, of course.
Well, because you should say that and then pray for them.
Right, exactly. Bless their heart.
So that Jesus will save them from their sin. But you
The
know,
school was here, right?
it was, but it just
Not-
works.
it's
It just
Southern.
works better with a Southern
I
I
just
accent.
wanted to
always
clarify.
forget you're not from the South.
It was part of the Southern Baptist
Okay. I just wanted to
Association.
clarify that they were here.
No, yeah, Southern California, Los Angeles Baptist.
Yeah, Southern California.
Southern California, Southern Los Angeles. No, so it was odd. It was, you sort of didn't feel like you had a safety net anywhere, because who were you going to go tell if the administration was like, you know,
Right.
sort of believed the same dogma as the bully. But my parents and I fought the system, you know, as hard as we could. It was not a fun fun person to be because everybody thought that I was like the narc.
Of course.
Because, 7 kids got expelled my second year of school, and I'm like, well,
Whoopsie.
sorry.
You're like,
but yeah.
7 more to come if you don't watch your back.
You know what? The important thing for me about today is, words are powerful and they're very damaging, but there's also a lot of kids that are being physically assaulted, and as a survivor of physical assault, it's important to remember that there are kids that are still actually being physically assaulted.
Somebody hit you?
More than that. And, I turned it around and made it sort of my goal to be stronger than them, but that's not everybody's response, and we can't expect that to be everybody's response.
And especially as a child, you shouldn't even have to be figuring out what your response to that is.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone shouldn't, but a child, upsetting.
Okay, so I've been actually very lucky.
I was like, he's going to say he never was born, and I love it. I love that.
Yeah, no, I've been really lucky. I think it's the place that I've grown up in, and like the schools that I've gone to, they've been really good. The closest thing I think is, after being like in the spotlight on Project Runway, there's definitely the whole world of social media.
Yeah, you cannot escape it there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really don't care. Like, I've learned to, like, grow a super thick skin over my life. So, like, I really, can I say I don't give a fuck? Because I don't.
I hope you,
yeah,
please do.
I really don't. Yeah, but literally, like, I do YouTube. So, YouTube concerts are vicious.
That's
they
the
really
worst.
are.
They're the worst.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I just try to focus on the positive because, there's a million times more, like, positive comments and, just, like, things on, like, my social media than there are like the negatives. So I just kind of I brush it off, I really don't care, and that's what I try to teach everybody who like watches my videos and like looks up to me. It really doesn't matter. People who are haters, they're like, obviously they're miserable. Like, why are you watching me if you hate me so much?
I love that
Good
you
point.
respond to the comments. I saw you tweet like screenshots of your response.
I always do a couple clapbacks. I know it's not good, but you always, I feel like, exactly.
You have to get it off your chest, so that way you can feel better.
Yeah.
Because it's so ridiculous. And like you said, there are people that are so, which is actually sad to me, so miserable with themselves. Those are the ones that are coming, but sometimes you just can't leave it alone. You gotta say something.
That's true.
And
I clap back.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. I think it's funny, and I feel like it gives them a little taste of their own medicine. So it's not like it's just like one-sided. They can't yell at me. It's like, I'm gonna come back. Like, you can't keep dishing. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get you back, Girls Club style.
Yeah.
So
The virtual
funny.
kick. I love that.
Well, and
so
treating it
funny.
like sport like that, it takes the power out of what they're saying to you, which
But I
is
don't
such
do
a smart
sports.
way.
No
Well,
sports
Neither do
for
I.
me.
I immediately was like, I don't know what you're saying.
But that's again a generational thing where we dealt with bullies like in our face and head on.
Right.
Now I think this generation is dealing with cyberbullying, which I think is, a
whole nother layer.
A whole nother level. You have somebody who you don't know, who, by the way, it's always that one person that has nothing on their social media, no profile picture,
there's
no
never
friend,
eggs,
no
those
nothing,
eggs.
but has like everything that they want to say to people.
Yes.
I know who you are. I'm coming back for you.
All right.
Sip that tea.
Oh, is that bullying?
I think that was just a promise.
That was a threat, I think. But speaking of bullying, there was a final debate last night.
Yes, as your reluctant political correspondent. Yes, we had the final presidential debate last night, and a few things stuck out.
As they always do.
As they always do. Well, first of all, positive thing. Right in the first 2 minutes, Hillary did say, just named LGBT rights as an important part of her stance, which is great. And the fact that was hit head on right in the beginning of the debate, and then also at the end when they asked her kind of what her presidency would look like, the upholding of the gay marriage equality decision was listed as an important part, and I think that's important to remember as we go forward, because really LGBT issues have not been discussed really at all in any of the debates. I read some articles about this, and some people were saying that this, look at how great this is, because it means that that's not a sticking point. Like, we're talking about abortion, and we're talking about immigration, and we're talking about economics, but gay rights is not like a sticking point issue. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing.
Right, because we're not free and off the hook.
Right,
Yeah.
In fact,
right.
if one team wins, we could be in trouble.
Right, and we're in a year where we had some major crises, and you know, trans people are still getting killed daily. So I don't know. I don't see that as really a positive because we're not out of the woods yet. But it was an interesting sort of perspective. But the thing that stuck out the most in across the media was this comment where, not even comment, lack of comment, where Donald Trump refused to answer the question if he would.
That would never happen.
Right? Would he accept the results of the election either way? And he would not respond. He said, well, I'll have to take a look at that one. Or something to that. Something to that effect.
I remember that quote. Yeah.
So that was really what the media just grabbed a hold of, and that was the headline. You know, before the debate was even over, that was a Wall Street Journal story.
People seemed like really shocked. They were like, "But this is democracy," and I was like, well, "Since when does he care about
he's
what,
made a
what,
mockery of
what are you
democracy
talking
since
about?"
day one."
You're
But
right.
it was interesting. We've got, you know, and right up to the end of the debate, it was like, you know, Hillary put forward a very clear plan. What would your presidency look like? Boom, 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 bullet points, you know, and all Trump had to say was like, well, she's wrong because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, wrong.
Also wrong, wrong. What if we did that to each other?
Can we start?
Wrong.
No.
No, I'll be crying. Can we
Yeah, no. Conflict resolution. So anyway, you know,
Yeah,
whatever, it is what it is. Just make sure that your voice is heard.
Yeah.
And make sure that you vote not on November 28th.
Yeah, unless you are voting for Trump. Of course.
If you're voting for Trump, by all means,
Yeah.
I will actually
till the
attend your
28th.
rally on the 28th.
Yeah, exactly. This is your
you're
first time
18.
voting.
It is.
Yay! How does it feel to be? I mean, maybe you don't have the past experience, but like this is the first time you're coming into it. And it's the craziest thing.
It
ever.
is. I'm happy that my voice will count, but at the same time, it sucks because I really don't get to make a choice. Like, it's been made
Yeah, right,
for me.
right,
and,
right.
yeah.
There is no choice.
There is no choice,
if you know what's happening. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm happy that my voice will get to be heard, and like this is definitely going to go down in history. So
Yeah, so it's a good one to
absolutely
jump in on.
Yeah.
How
Well, that's
exciting.
great.
Well, you guys will be happy to know that I actually watched some of the debate,
Oh.
unlike the last time where I said I did not watch. But the thing that stuck out for me were Hillary's faces towards the end, where she was just looking like, really? This is the guy you have running against me? Oh, okay. Is this debate over yet? All right. I mean, clearly, hopefully I won, because
She's like, I could have taken someone that really went for me.
Well,
but...
and it's an insult to her career that she's having to do this, you know, that there isn't a better matched opponent. But
Well, I mean, it was also an insult last time where all the questions were about her husband.
right.
It's all
But hey, gas was 79 cents during the Clinton administration,
I
so
mean,
come on back.
Right?
my God, I do
have
not
no
remember those
complaints
days.
with Clinton
Oh,
economics.
I do. That's when
Yes,
I
I do
first started
too.
driving, and you
Was
did
how much?
like 79 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
Like I think at most it was 99 cents. See, that's during a time period where you didn't ask people for gas money. You just said, "I'll take you."
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Different times we're living in, people.
Speaking of different times,
Oh yes.
tell us your story.
Yes. The one that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Great.
whatever
Because
you
I
want to talk
have
about, actually.
many
I don't care.
stories.
Yeah, whatever you want to share.
So my friend, shout out to my friend Danny, who gave me this information. He's like a gay travel guru. But Royal Caribbean International was awarded the Gay Travel Approved, which is like a really sought after award. It's the first only cruise line to receive this award, and it shows commitment to the LGBTQ community. What this basically signifies is that the Gay Travel Approved award is awarded to select travel partners that offer a safe, welcoming environment for LGBTQ travelers. The acknowledgement is reserved for travel partners whom are a panel of experts, editors, and tastemakers have deemed deserving of a higher level of recognition by the LGBTQ community. So yay to Royal Caribbean, and now you shall feel safe and welcome on their cruise line.
Which is a great thing. It's an important thing to know.
Yes.
Just like I said with like the middle of the country thing, I sometimes forget. Like that's not something I necessarily think of when I'm making travel plans, which is usually to Palm Springs. So I guess I don't have to.
That's pretty safe.
Yeah, but
But I feel like, you know, when when you do travel, and especially if like, you know, you have a partner and, you know, you want to feel like, you know, you're safe and welcoming, and you don't, I mean, who wants to be on vacation and have that one person that's like, rah, 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 you, and it's like, really?
Or
like,
even just unsafe, like to be attacked or to be, I can remember just this past year I was talking about like places I want to go, and like high up on the list was Jamaica. Like, I gotta go to Jamaica. I've been dying to go to Jamaica. And my friends were like, you probably shouldn't go to Jamaica.
Not a good idea. Or go.
no.
Yeah, it's one of the most violently homophobic places in the Caribbean.
See?
See?
No Speedos for you on the beach.
There
Well, not
happens
there.
to be
Not there.
a lesbian cruise line called Olivia.
Why y'all
which-
always try to be separate?
Because we pushed them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not their fault.
I have never gone. My friends who are a young couple, they went, and they said it's full of old lesbians. And so Olivia is a cruise line for old lesbians.
That's great.
Well, when you're a gay man, you can go on Atlantis cruise line.
Yeah,
like
Atlantis,
that.
RSVP.
Yeah, all that, yeah. And it is fabulous and wonderful. And now you can add Royal Caribbean International.
Oh, I would
to
just
your-
be on a
Awesome.
drag race cruise if I was gonna.
Oh,
Right.
they have
I mean,
those
they
too.
do have those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can
Yes.
see fabulous performance from all of your drag
all
race
your
stars.
faves.
Yeah, yeah.
You can spill the tea with actual tea.
Yeah.
Yes. Or pink lemonade.
But likely booze.
Probably.
I would guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So congratulations to
Yeah.
Royal Caribbean.
Good on you,
Yeah.
Royal C.
Yes.
Royal C, is that like Mel C's other sister?
Yeah, I think
Royal
so.
C.
I don't know. It was Caribbean sounded very hard to say, so I didn't. So American Crime. I'm going to focus. American Crime Story just was renewed for season 3. We haven't seen season 2 yet, but that's fine. Season 2 is going to be about Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
Season 3 covering the murder of Gianni Versace, which I need to say something right now.
Yes.
When this happened,
Is this a soapbox?
it's
you're
a
about to get on?
memory. I was
Okay.
disturbed by this murder.
Yeah.
We were watching 2020s, all this stuff. My dad was watching it, my sister and I watching with her. And I was like, ooh, I was scared. Like this guy, Andrew Cunanan, like I was like, he's coming for us all. So I told my sister, like, we're sleeping together tonight. So in the middle of the night, I forget that I was sleeping with her, and I just see like a shadow next to me, and I was certain it was him.
Coming to kill you.
It was not, yeah, as you might have guessed, but that was a terrifying time. So 20 years later, almost, I'm still scared of it. So I'm excited to see
Really?
this go down.
Well, I was very excited to see the O.J. Simpson.
And it did so
Yeah.
well. It was
Yeah.
good. It was
It
good.
did really
Yes.
well because I remember the whole O.J. thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was in middle school
Note for
when that
note.
happened,
Yeah.
and it was nice to kind of see the behind the scenes stuff. And it's the first time I felt very bad for Marsha Clark.
Oh, yeah.
all
Totally.
that.
Well, they
Like-
made her the human that she
Like
is.
I literally want to like send her a letter, like actually write a letter and not an email.
A handwritten.
Yeah, and just say,
Totally.
bless your heart, honey. You went through a lot.
Oh,
with
she
that.
did.
Well, I think
Yeah.
you should.
Well, see what
Do
I
it.
can do.
It sounds better as an idea than
Yeah.
pen to
Well,
paper.
so the only thing I know about the Versace story is what I learned from Lifetime.
Well, it's very
Which
important
you
that
can always trust.
Yeah, the Gina Gershon version, because Gina Gershon's amazing.
Oh yes.
So that's all I know.
And she
Let
was
me-
Donatella, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're saying Donatella's heavily featured in this story, and there's already an A-list actress in talks to play her.
Let's
That
see,
Ryan
it's a
Murphy
Ryan
happens to
Murphy.
love.
Yeah, it's a Ryan Murphy.
I wonder
show.
who that could be.
What would you call her?
Lord,
wait,
is
we're
she going?
saying
Is Paula, right? Is it Paula? It's
Sarah
not Paula.
Paulson is
No,
who you mean?
Sarah.
no.
But no,
No.
Lady Gaga.
This will be
so
Lady
everyone's
Gaga.
saying.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
What if
I
he
was
just
about to say,
goofs
Sarah
us all and
Paulson
it's
plays
Kathy
everything.
Bates? Just Kathy Bates.
I would
I
love
would
that.
As
love
Donatella.
that.
Cameron Manheim?
We're just going a different direction, and
That'd be fantastic.
What?
You making fat jokes?
That's all he does.
I beg your pardon. Are you saying that from one fat girl to another?
Yeah.
Wrong. That's what you're supposed to do.
wrong.
Now, Matt, and I'm going to try to say this without crying, wasn't born when Versace was murdered in 97.
Who is Versace? I'm not familiar.
That was going to be my question. As a designer yourself, I assume you were still influenced by
Of
him.
course. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I love Versace. One of my favorite brands. I'm really looking forward to seeing the fashion on the show.
Great.
I don't know if it's been filmed yet, but if they're not and they're looking for a creative director.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
No,
you
they're
better
still
plug
working
yourself.
on season 2, so it's
Yeah.
definitely still a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yes, you
Yeah.
better get your people on that.
That's really.
We're starting
If
the
they're
campaign
watching,
here.
listening.
Yes.
Exactly. I love that. Actually, it's a great idea.
Look at you. You are smart. Look at him. Already talking about brands and like reaching out and stuff. I was still playing Legos.
Well, that's why he wasn't born then and yet has a clothing line, and we're...
Yes. We have a podcast.
We have a podcast,
Yes,
so.
we all have something. You have to hold on to the things that you have.
Everybody's got their thing.
Yes, everybody have their thing.
I can talk, and that's just about it.
Yes.
So here I am.
Yes.
Oh, well. Anyways, anything else you want to say about Versace? No. We're going to move on. Did you? Sorry, I was like, no.
I did like that song on Art Pop that Gaga wrote about Donatello that everyone hated on so
good.
hard.
Yeah, I don't think I only
still
heard it
like
once.
that song.
Well,
Anyway,
when she plays
that's all
Donatello,
I
it'll
have.
all be full circle.
The song will be featured.
Yeah, exactly. Now, guys, we're going to finally, we didn't even have time last week, take our first Twitter question of the week from fan submitted, but it's actually from YouTube, from Mr. Henry.
Hey, Mr. Henry.
Which, by the way, since I'll probably forget, please send us your questions. You can hashtag AskGWR, right?
Yep,
Yes.
I always
GWR.
switch those. Or leave your comments on YouTube below. We're watching. We'll pick them up. Mr. Henry wanted to know our... Yeah, we're watching.
It's like a threat.
Someone's telling me.
He wanted to know what our thoughts are on cisgender actors playing transgender people. Most recently, Matt Bomer, who is on... It's sad... Well, we'll get there. He is playing a transgender woman in, I believe it's called Anything. It will be coming out. So it's caused a lot of controversy. He wants to know what we think of that. Now, I'm going to... Tony asked a question that I'm going to ask for him now to...
Oh.
He wanted to clarify cisgender.
Yes.
Which is a very good question, and that means...
It means your birth gender matches
got
your
it.
gender identity.
Why? See,
Like
this
not-
is what I don't understand. Just say birth gender. Don't just spell it. Just spit it out.
Well, because it's
Cisgender is so much shorter.
Because
but birth gender is so much easier to understand.
well, but here's why it's not. Here's why birth gender is not really even an accurate way to say it. Because if you are a trans person, you are born trans. So your birth gender identity is not necessarily your biology.
See, that's why.
So
it's
that's why
important
it's
to talk it out.
if we were that's why I wouldn't casually say your birth gender.
Be
Well, because
you.
which one, the
Sometimes
biological one or the identity? So
Well, what do you guys think
that's
about the
that's a lot.
actual? I mean, I know we could talk about cis forever, but again, we're making it about us, and this is about trans people.
Sister.
Yeah. So what? I mean, it was. I don't know if you guys saw that it was a controversy. after
Yeah.
this
Yes.
came out.
Oh yeah.
It was
Big
indeed.
controversy.
So, I'll say some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. do.
Please don't hate me.
No, I want to hear. The more controversial,
Yeah.
the better.
Oh.
Okay, so I think that for some roles it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
For a role that I'm assuming, this is based on assumption, I know nothing about the film. Matt Bomer's character is a trans woman, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that there will be flashbacks to the life that this person had.
Pre-transition.
Yeah. And I think that means you will need an actor. Not everyone is lucky as Laverne Cox, who has a twin that can play
Yeah, right. That was crazy.
pre-transition
That was awesome.
characters.
Yeah.
So I want to say that might be the reasoning. I agree that if the character is trans and we're seeing this character as trans, then it should be played by a trans person. But I think if we're seeing a full transition, I think sometimes you need, unless that person is willing to wait on their transition
Right.
and do it for the film.
Yeah. I think it's, for me, I think, well, straight people are obviously playing gay people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, when I did think about this, when I read it, I thought I could really form a strong opinion, but I think it's best for me to side with what the transgender community is saying. I don't need a straight person telling me how to think about things. I don't need to be telling a black person how to think about things. I can share my opinion, but if the majority of a community has an opinion on this about their own community, that for me is who I side with. Unless you're a Trump supporter, which I guess goes against everything I'm saying. But.
I agree with you. I just think that I have a belief for myself. I don't get angry about things until I've seen them, right? So like,
Yeah.
Well, I
Which is
agree with
fair.
that too.
I'm not going to hate on a movie until I've seen it, and once I've seen it, then I'm ready to hate on it because I have all of the facts.
Totally. Well, that's the other thing that I was going to say. I feel bad for Matt Bomer because they're really coming for him, but he is not only a gay man himself, but an ally to the trans community. So if this is a mistake that they feel that he shouldn't have, I think that he's someone that I think would have been open to listen, but
Yes.
it was obviously social media attack. He started blocking people to stop the attacks, and then they were mad at him for that. So I think if you're going to come before you even see the film and even know, is he playing someone that was pre-transition, who knows, have a conversation, not an attack.
Well, and this opens up a sort of strange Pandora's box here. Like, are we expecting our actors now to refuse work on a principle before we as the consumer understand the context? That's a weird thing. I mean, in some cases, it's appropriate, but it's tough, it's tough. It's like he didn't cast himself. He's not the executive producer or director of the film.
I believe it's Mark Ruffalo's
It
film.
is, and so they
Mark
came for him
Ruffalo
too.
is the problem.
Yeah.
Well,
But that was sort
but
of my
I just
opinion.
loved him in Normal Heart. He was so good.
Well,
I
a straight man.
I want to know what Matt thinks.
Okay, so I can see like both sides of the story. Like you made a really good point, actually, like something that I didn't realize. You're welcome.
That's a first for me. Good point.
But I think it sucks to take away work from, like, if it's a transgender role. I'm sure that there are so many transgender actors and actresses that are like dying trying to find work out there, and I think that when there is like a role like that, I think it would be just so much better to have like a real transgender person who's like lived through the experience and who like knows like the backstory behind it, like knows like the struggle, knows the fight, and I just think that that's so much better to like cast as like a transgender role.
Totally. That's what I think it sort of is also, is that I think if they were not auditioning trans people, they weren't even considering it, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
But
Big-
I also
big problem.
think it should be, I mean, the best person for the role ultimately.
Yeah.
If they don't find a trans actress that is right because she's actually not right, not just because she's actually trans,
right.
that is, I think, okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know what happened in the
I
casting.
wonder, as someone who's not trans and not in the trans community, I just wonder why we aren't fighting more for trans folk to play just roles.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
another thing I thought of too.
Absolutely.
Like they're almost pushing themselves into a box that
Yeah.
like, okay, well now you can only play trans roles, which really I would think, because again, I don't know, that they would want to
Yeah.
be
Well, and I
playing
don't
all
think it's so
roles.
much pushing themselves into a box. I think it's like they're looking at the experience as, okay, well, if we don't even get to play the
Which is
roles
true.
that represent us, then what
Right,
do
it's
we
not like
have
they're
to
playing-
look at?
they're playing cisgender roles.
But I think your point is great. We need to be more, like, casting really does need to open their minds and go, oh, there are trans people that can play this role, whatever gender it is.
Yeah.
Well, now that that's being said, and I've been quiet for a little
Yeah,
time,
I
just
noticed you
gonna-
have too. I noticed
Sorry,
that.
I kept
gonna jump
interrupting
in
you.
Oh
now.
no, I think
it's
he was
okay.
waiting.
So coming from a casting background,
Yes.
I like you did bring up a good point. Like we don't know if this film will have flashbacks of the pre-transition, so they need someone that can kind of play that. I think just coming from a casting point of view, you have to go with what the script calls for. So, of course, maybe the breakdown was, trans, and who knows, maybe they did see trans people as well. But then they also opened the door for, men who are comfortable with, playing that role as well to come in, and ultimately they make whatever is the best decision for that particular project. I know of a project of a network TV show that had a role for a woman, and they did call in transgender females to come in and audition for that role as well, along with
Cisgender females.
Thank you very much.
There it is.
Cisgender
We
women
use
as
the
well.
word in a sentence.
Yes. So I feel like, instead of, it's kind of like know your facts first. Before you attack someone over something, you kind of have to know, okay, how did you get to that point? Did you open your doors to everyone for that? Is it just for a transgender female? Because, there are roles that are just specifically that. It's for transgender people only. Well, I can't go in because I'm not a transgender person. Am I going to be upset? No, because that's what the role calls for.
Right.
So I think before we hop on a bandwagon, know facts and know that casting has probably opened the doors to everyone, but they ultimately decided on the best person for the project. And I'm done.
Well said, Tom.
That tea. That's beautiful. Listen,
Thank you.
it is time to put all our focus on Matt.
Yes.
Yay!
Because I have some questions. Most specifically, this has being on a reality show to me, and this is, it sounds so fun because I'm such a fan of them. Like, you watched Project Runway first,
I've watched every single reality show
Right.
ever
I love
made.
Project
So
Runway.
what was it like suddenly being on one? Was it what you expected? What did you even expect?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. It's crazy, like, being behind the scenes. Like, because I've watched Project Runway since I was 7 years old, and, like, that was what got me into fashion. So, like, getting to see, like, the behind the scenes and, like, see, you know, like, how everything works, you know, behind the cameras, it was just such, like, an interesting experience, because it's, like, not at all what it seems like it is on TV.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why I would love to just be a fly on the wall. Now, did you? And I don't even know what you're allowed to say, but did
Me
you?
neither.
Were you- but I'm really gonna push you. Did you? Were you surprised by how producers help guide a storyline along?
I feel like our producers were actually very, very good. I still talk to, like, our producers now. They're very focused less on drama and more on, especially for the junior version of the series, just more on, like, showcasing our talent and, like, our drive in the fashion world. So I mean, like, even while we were filming, there was a little bit of drama that they didn't even choose to like air.
Yeah.
So they wanted to keep it, like, very wholesome, very
That's
family
nice.
friendly. So yeah, so I think that they did a really good job in that aspect. I don't know how much of that was the producers or the editors, but, like, they did a really good job of keeping it, like, really clean and really, like, PG. Yeah.
Was it not always PG with you guys?
I mean, not always.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some drama, some, you know, like, not so family friendly stuff.
Yeah.
But they cut that out, and they made sure, like, they stressed to us that they wanted it to be, like, a good, like, wholesome show.
How did it feel to literally you got into this industry because of Project Runway? So what was it like knowing you'd be on that show?
It was really weird. It was like, it kind of brought the whole journey, like, full circle, because, like, I was inspired after watching the show with my mom at age 7. So now, like, people reaching out to me through social media saying, like, oh, I'm gonna audition for next season after seeing you on the show. Like, it's inspired me to start sketching, get into design. That's just, like, so weird, because that's literally the exact same way that I got into fashion.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of, talk about Hot Mess. It just launched, right?
Yes.
Yes, I just launched my first clothing line available to the public through my website, mattsarafa.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm wearing this jacket right now. This is one of the pieces. This is the Bad Bitch Bomber jacket.
Yeah,
Got
Bad
the
Bitch
name
Bomber
alone.
jacket.
I'm in.
So, there we go.
Yeah,
okay.
give us a show.
So here we go. So this design on the
wow.
back, this is what inspired, like, the whole collection. So this was actually, it was inspired by the show. Episode 2, I don't know if you guys watched the series, but I struggled on episode 2. It was the Unconventional Challenge, which we had to go to a car wash and, like, take, like, car wash parts, like just, like, really weird stuff and, like, create, like, a high fashion garment. And I struggled severely with that. So one of the judges said that my outfit looked like the model was wearing a straight jacket, and I was like, I know, she's a hot mess. So I just played on that. So it's like a skeleton
amazing.
in a straight jacket, and it just says hot mess. And I just thought it was funny and, like, tongue-in-cheek. And I just did that as soon as I came home after I got eliminated. I came in, I did that, like, I drew it out, I did it on Photoshop, and I didn't really, like, have anything for it, because I mean, the way I work is I try to, like, take things that happen in my life and I, like, put them down and I get inspired by them. So I just thought, like, that would be really cool on a jacket or something, and then the whole clothing line kind of developed around that.
So you literally took something that was perceived as a weakness, and now
and
you're growing your
channeled it
empire.
into
Smart.
Into a line.
Kids, I
That's
hope you're
brilliant. Yeah,
listening.
listen
Right.
up, children.
I saw on your website that the clothing is gender neutral.
It is, yes. That was
Awesome.
something that was very important to me, at least for the first line. I feel like men's clothing and women's clothing, I feel like that's just, like, a suggestion, because I shop in the men's department and the women's department. I feel like clothing, it's literally just pieces of fabric. It's just pieces of cloth. And I think it's ridiculous to, like, put a gender onto them, because it's like, it's literally, it's just a piece of cloth. Like, that's what I always say. So whenever I'm designing, like, I don't want to, like, limit that to, like, one type of person. I want everybody who wants to wear it and everybody who feels comfortable in wearing my clothes to be able to do so.
That's so good because
Love it.
sometimes
Love
when I
it.
go in the women's section, I'm like, oh my God, that would look so cute on me.
Yeah.
Women's clothing is so much cooler. Like they
And
always
fun.
Yeah, it's so much more fun. And like when you go into like a department store, like women have like 7 floors of stuff, and then the men's have like one
little
department
corner.
like that.
Oh,
small.
And
piece of the
it's
floor.
always crew neck shirts, V-neck shirts, plaid.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
thank
That's
you.
all
That's
we
not
have.
what you
No,
guys like
thank
to
you. No.
Fine.
I beg your pardon.
Girl, what do I know? I'm wondering if there are plans to expand into plus sizes.
Absolutely. I was doing a live stream the other
What?
night.
It's an important question.
It is an important question.
I saw the clothing and I wanted one, and it doesn't come in my size.
Aw. Yeah, okay, well, I was on a live stream the other night and someone actually like opened my eyes. It wasn't really something that I really realized until this person pointed it out, and they said, like, I'm an extra large and I would really love like one of your pieces of clothing. Are you looking to expand? And I was like, wow, like I'm so stupid. I literally never even thought about that, and I felt so like ignorant. Like that wasn't something that like I really thought of, because being a small just like startup brand, it's really like it's expensive to like do each size. So like I wanted to do an extra small, extra large, but like for the money constraints and all of that, like that wasn't possible. But now that like I'm hearing like you, this other person, like a bunch of people saying like, oh, I really want to wear like the hot mess stuff, and like that sucks, because the whole reason I did the unisex line is because I don't want to disclude people from being able to wear it, and like that's exactly what I'm doing by not offering plus size. So
But you will.
of
Yeah,
course,
but it's
yes.
a learning experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously. So if people want to find you, your clothes and you, social
Yes.
media, tell us everywhere we can go.
Okay, so I'm most active on Instagram, and that's just at Matt Sarafa, MattsArafa. And then you can find my clothing on mattsarafa.com. And then on Twitter and Snapchat, same thing, just Matt Sarafa. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I love Instagram. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I used to most.
Yeah, so I really love Instagram, and that's where I like to interact with everybody.
I love it. Well, you're going to have to come back and give us fashion tips
Absolutely.
maybe next time, because I could
Yes.
really use them. But thank you so much for coming. It's amazing.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching. Please wear your purple, be spirited, take a stand against bullying, and that's it, guys. I'm Adam Salandra. You can find me at Adam Salandra.
And I'm Tony Moore, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony, on my website, loungingwithtony.com.
I'm Yael Tygiel. You can find me everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I have a podcast. It's free. It's on iTunes and Stitcher. It's called Intimate Interrogations. Sometimes it is filthy, but sometimes it is not.
And I'm Blake McIver. You can find me everywhere at Blake McIver. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.